All right, so I have my cup of coffee here. So I'm just gonna talk about a subject that has been brought up in social media that I would like to address. What about Christianity and hate? We in Christianity we're taught to love our enemies, and we all go through all kinds of, and it's not wrong in any way. I mean it's like you can in a way love your enemy. You can always forgive anyone. You can always look at the humanity of any horrible person and see, yeah, they were also a child once, and they have a mother, etc. You can bring out your humanity, and uh, but there's also hate, of course, and I think hate has become a kind of taboo in our society. It has been a long, ever since we got Christianity, with the idea of turning the other cheek when someone beats you, essentially, and we've had this idea that hate is something of a taboo. But since in my religion, I'm representing a new kind of atheistic, reformed Christianity. In my religion, I don't see hate in itself as something wrong, because what is hate? Hate is just essentially like, it's a fear response. Hate is the consequence of fear. When you fear someone, you start to hate. You start to prepare. It's a physical response. You start to prepare yourself for fight, essentially, and you build up adrenaline, and you're making yourself ready, and I think many Christians have a kind of problem with that, because they, on the other hand, their God tells them to to love your enemy, but in my religion, I say, because fear is something that is natural in humanity, isn't even an animal response. Like, is it really bad? I mean, whenever some natural something natural occur, something that is natural, when some out of the boomer generation tells you that is wrong, etc., you have a very good reason to be suspicious. And I think, and also, let me take a drink and just think a little bit where to continue with this. So fear is a natural hate is a natural fear response. So we should be suspicious about anyone that says that is wrong in itself. So where did this come from, the idea that hate is wrong in essentially? And what I believe, I have a very, very particular interpretation of the Bible. I believe that Paul, the apostle, I think that is the original Christianity. And I think the Gospels were written by the Romans as a kind of astroturfed psyop to create peace, and I think Titus Flavius might have been involved, and I think Bernice Agrippa might have been involved. That's my hypothesis. I think all of the talk about loving your enemy, etc., in Christianity comes from essentially an astroturfed religion that was engineered to create peace, and also a kind of slave religion. I mean, if we go into Nietzsche and that area, Nietzsche observed that a lot of things in Christianity is very engineered sort of to be very suitable for slaves. If you have a slave class and you give them this religion, they will become very, very obedient slaves, because they have no mechanism of and if whenever they start to hate, they will kind of they will start to think, they will start to self-regulate, like maybe my hate is not, maybe I shouldn't hate my master, etc. So I think that's the first thing of it. I think the whole idea in Christianity that we shouldn't hate comes from the elite, that it's a kind of psyop, it's a kind of way to tell the plebs, please don't be angry, please don't rebel. So that's the first thing. And also I think we have feminization in our society today. We have women having a huge influence on our society, and women usually don't like violence, they don't like hate, etc. And also to them, hate is a low status symbol, because who hates? The one who's the one who's afraid, the man who feels that they are a slave, that their lineage will end with them, and that a man that has fear for like an existential dread, that maybe they feel their children not secure, etc. They will have fear. So, but on the other hand, of course, a rich man that has all the money in the world, that can move wherever they want, they will of course have no fear, because they have so much money, they have nothing to fear. They can buy security guards, they can, when things seem to be more trouble, they can move out, etc. So to women, fear is a low status symbol, and that is another reason why modern society don't like fear, don't like hate. But on the other hand, I mean, as I always like to go back to nature. Still, fear is, we were built this way. We're built this way that when we see some person doing something very unjust, being very unjustful, and doing something that is not at all according to fairness, then we become angry, we become even hateful. We start to, like, who is that person that is ruining, so we become hateful. And I think since it's a natural reaction, and since it's part of our biology, I think it's a part of a healthy human to hate sometimes, and I just as like, I mean, of course we shouldn't hate all the time. We can also use love. And also another aspect of it is that if we love someone, or if we love something, then hate is the natural reaction when we see that threatened. So if we have a child, for example, and we see people like we see increased criminality, etc., we see injustice in society, then we start to hate because we love our children. So I think, so because of this, I think hate has a function, it has a role to play in our psychology, and I think, like, and if in the future there will be some struggles in society, I mean maybe we even need that kind of hate to activate our adrenaline to start to fight for our destiny, etc. So I think we I mean, now I'm speaking, I'm a very peculiar kind of Christian. I have my own Christian religion, that is Reciprocalism, that is a completely I mean, I have kind of done a complete reform of Christianity. So I'm by no means a representative of real Christianity. I mean, real. I think it's the next evolution of Christianity. I see myself as like a. Let me see how to point there. I see myself also as a kind of poor fellow soldier of Christ, because I align with the values of like with the Crusaders, etc. The knights who fought to safeguard the Christian world, etc. I very much sympathize with that ideology, etc. But in doing so, I'm not hindered by. Let me just have some drink. I need to. Yes, so I see myself also as a kind of spiritual crusader in this effort to save the Christian world. But I would say that hate in itself is not the problem. The key issue is our hate justified? So in the end, it's all about justice. That's the key point. If hate is righteous, then it's no problem. If hate is unjust, then of course it's catastrophic, because it's dangerous. But righteous anger, righteous hate, I don't see as a problem. And I mean, people who are like the true believers, the Christians, they can of course have their view on this. But I'm a little bit, I mean, the Christian world got into this state we're in right now for a reason, and I mean, the reason is that to a large extent Christianity has this kind of slave morality. We have these we have these kind of blocks, like when we become in our culture, we always, like, whenever someone expresses hate, then it's like, oh, you should be kind and loving instead. And then to a large extent, I think that's one of the reasons we got into this problem in the first place. Like, everyone remembers, we couldn't criticize mass migration because it was hate speech. so I think, yeah. So if you as a Christian like feel bad about yourself because you hate, then I think you shouldn't, and I think you can join my religion if you want to have a permission to hate, because I am only concerned about justice and like, is our hate justful? So that's kind of what I wanted to say in this long ramble about hate and Christianity and such things. Do you have any opinions about this? Do you have any questions? Do you have some other topic you want me to talk about more, etc.? And leave a comment below, and yeah, and also leave a like and subscribe if you want to. So that's it for today. See you in the next one. Bye bye.